Sorry, I have no idea how to turn this off. None whatsoever.
Check my horoscope. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Litchfield Planning Board meeting of Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America,
and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation,
God.
and justice for all.
Joshua Smith is not with us this evening. I do not see Curtis Sampson remotely, so I'll start with the roll call of members. Michael Proto, Chair.
Kimberly Queen and Selectmen's Rep.
Stevens, member.
James Buffetti, member.
Kate Stevens, Vice Chair.
Okay, good evening. Actually, Joan, do we have the placards?
Yes, but that said you can't see them on TV.
Oh, okay, never mind. All right. So first order of business is public input on non-agenda items, not. Sorry. Public input on non-agenda items not on the agenda for this evening. Is there any members of the public out there who have anything on non-agenda items? Joan, I know you had sent me an email regarding the butter.
That's for the dark hole case.
The dark hole case. Okay. Was that supposed to be right at the last meeting or was?
No, we didn't get that until.
We didn't get it in time.
So
Okay. All right. So we can wait on that one. Okay. All right.
Mr. Chair, I don't see any members going on mute or raising their hand.
All right. Thank you, John. In that case, I'll close public input on non-agenda items and we will go to the business at hand this evening. We have an application to subdivide one lot into two. Tax map 22, lot 9, 514 Charles Bancroft Highway. The owners, Joanne Smith, 2002 Trust, and Suzanne Smith, Patinod Joint Revocable Trust. Is the applicant present this evening? And if they are, could they announce themselves and introduce themselves to the board and your address?
Note here with my wife, and we live Timber Lane.
Good evening.
Mr. Green is on the right-hand corner, is the engineer.
Yes, could you introduce yourself to the board?
Mr. Green,
Well, I'm having a little trouble hearing. Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Jeff Green. I'm the land surveyor and representing the applicants. And I'm from 416 Bumfagan Road, Loudon.
Thank you. Okay, so we have an application to subdivide. This is, my understanding, is a minor subdivision. And this would fall under our subdivision regulations. Joan, I'll start with you this evening. Do we have all the applications all for this project?
yes, the fees have been paid and the abutters have been notified.
The fees have been
Newspaper-
paid and all the
newspapers.
butters have been notified to this subdivision. Okay. So we will start off with the application for completeness. This is to accept the application. It is not to approve it. Jay, I know you're on the call this evening. Did you have an opportunity to take a look at the plans and do you find them to be satisfactory for acceptance?
I did have an opportunity to review the plans and they do meet the minimum submission requirements. So yes, they are acceptable.
Okay. And that's good with you, Joan, as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we will do a motion to accept our application of completeness. We have all the required paperwork. We have the required plans that have been submitted. We have fees paid and abutters have been notified. So I'll entertain a motion at this time to accept the application for its completeness.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, do I have discussion? All those in favor of accepting the application for completeness for this tax map 22 lot 9, 514 Charles Bancroft Highway, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstained? Okay. Kate, are you on the call? Did you say aye? I didn't hear you.
Oh, I did. I voted to
Okay,
accept.
all right. I wasn't sure. I didn't hear you. All right, so motion passes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 0. Okay. Thank you. All right. At this time, I'm going to ask the applicant or his representative this evening to present to the board what it is that they are proposing to do with this subdivision. So I'm going to let you guys take over at this point. Mr. Green?
It's an audio problem.
Jeff, can you hear?
Sounds it. I guess we're having audio issues, John. I don't know.
Jeff, if you can hear me, if you could start presenting the plan, it would be helpful.
It does appear Jeff has dropped off.
Mr. Patton.
Is Mr. Patnod on?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, did you want to say something until we can get Mr. Green back, I guess?
Yeah, we're basically just looking to take the existing lot and separate it between the giving the house that's there now, where actually my father-in-law lived many years ago, with 1.5, a little over 1.
I think I might be coming back again.
Hello?
Okay, I'll let Jeff continue.
Okay,
Sorry
Mr.
about
Green.
that. My computer just shut down on me and started back up. So,
that's
I'm
okay.
not sure where we were, if anybody had said anything in my part or,
We're just
Just-
kicking off.
okay.
Just kicking off.
All right, we'll try this one more time. So anyway, I'm Jeff Green. I'm representing the applicant. And we did a survey. Basically, we have a parcel of land with an existing residential house on it and an existing business. It encompasses 3.862 acres. It's got 459 feet of road frontage. What we're looking to do is subdivide this so that the residential lot and a commercial business lot. We went out, did, the existing conditions, located everything. Each lot has their own driveway, all the structures meet the setback requirements. They have their own existing leach fields, and they're both tied into Pennachuck water. Per the requirements of the planner when we discussed it. I did add in, we did test pits and 4K areas. It was also a requirement of NHDES. So we've got those on the plan. And there's a little bit of wetlands on the right-hand side of the property, which would be the northerly side. And that was delineated and indicated on the plan. Still leaves plenty of buildable areas on both lots. When it's said and done, the existing residential lot will be 1.582 acres with 246.27 feet of road frontage. The commercial lot is going to be 2.18 acres with 212.89 feet of road frontage. They both already have their existing mailing addresses, street addresses. This is just basically separating the two lots, or the two on the existing lot into two separate lots. Other than that, it's a fairly straightforward subdivision, I think. And I can answer any questions if there was any from the board.
Okay, thank you. Anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Patternod? or-
No, that's pretty straightforward.
And Mr. Chairman, this is Jay. I would just add that there is a waiver request.
Yes, thank you. I did see that. Was there an application submitted for that request, Joan? Or
Yes,
do you
for
have a copy of it?
sedimentation control.
Yeah, I didn't see it on the site. That's why. Earlier today. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant? I noticed that there were a couple of corrections. Jay had reviewed this, and a couple of things. The owner's signature line on the signature on the plan to be addressed. I assume that's been taken care of. It looks like I noted that on the big plan here, the notes that have been added. Okay. There's a place for the Hillsborough County Registry of Deed number and date recorded above signature block. That I assume has been addressed. And I should ask, is this the plan that I have here, the big one? This is the updated version?
No, this is the
Or is this the old one? Do you have the new one? Okay, all right. Good thing I asked.
I believe the new one is being shown on the screen, though, is it not, Jay?
Yes, the updated one's on the screen.
All right, thank you. You have the area of lots denoting wetland and dryland areas. Assume that has been addressed.
Yes.
Showing location of existing water line or lines, section 530K, that has been addressed.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the waiver in a second, erosion and sedimentation control plans.
The street number should be on the commercial lot, 518. Should be on the plan.
Okay. Has that been included or no? I don't see that.
What was it you're looking for?
That's the street number for the commercial lot.
Yes, that's on there.
It's 518, is that it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Thank you. And location 4,000 square feet, septic windows and related data, section 530 that I assume has been addressed.
The square foot area, the 4K area is on the plan, and then I would probably just have to give you the copies of the test pit data, which was included with the DES application.
Okay. The plan note 7 to be amended to reflect the minimum frontage requirement for newly created lots in 3A in Northern Commercial District is 200 feet. Looks like the requirement has been met for both lots. The wording for note 11 should be changed from there to there, THEIR. Copy of the deed should also be provided. Do we do have a copy of the deed, I assume?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a copy, John?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right, so we also have a waiver request for erosion and sediment control. Does the applicant want to address that issue? And could you explain to the board why you're looking for the waiver? What is the hardship that because of not granting it? Explain that to us.
Okay. So what we're asking for is a waiver of item 530M, which is an erosion and sediment control plan. And we're requesting a waiver because both lots have already been developed. An erosion and sediment control plan is usually something that would protect the wetlands during construction or development of the lot. Both lots have currently been developed and there's no changes proposed to either one than the driveway, buildings, or anything of that at this time. So therefore, we're asking for a waiver of getting into any type of erosion or engineering type plans with no real purpose to do that. If that explains, that's what we're looking for, is we're already pre-developed.
Questions? So if this is going to be served by public water and an existing on-site septic system, have you applied for state permits?
The only the state permit that's been applied for is the DES subdivision approval, and they've got the plans, they just haven't finalized the approval yet. So it has been submitted.
There's no questions from the board. Jay, do you have anything you want to add?
I think it's really pretty straightforward. The applicants addressed all of the concerns that I had. I think, as they noted, there is no new development that's proposed. The lots are, meet all the requirements. They're fully conforming. So I have no additional concerns.
At this time, I will open it up to public comment. Is there any members of the public who wish to comment on this project this evening? See anybody in town hall, so I don't know about.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I don't see anybody on the WebEx from the public.
Okay. All right. Hearing none, at this time, I will close public comment and I will turn it to the board. What is the will of the board? We can probably do this in two steps. We can approve the waiver first if we want to. And then we can approve the subdivision with the conditions stated.
I'll make a motion to approve the waiver, Chairman.
Okay, there's been a motion to approve the waiver requested for erosion and sedimentation control plan, section 530M of the Litchfield subdivision regulations. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second. Do I have discussion? All those in favor of the waiver for erosion and sediment control plans per section 530M of the Litchfield subdivision regs, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstained? Motion passes 5-0-0. Okay. That takes care of the waiver. Now on to the approval of the application. Do we want to approve this application? And we have obviously the conditions being that, and I'm just going to run through them quickly. Owner's signature line and signature on the plan has been addressed per section 51000C. Place to enter the Hillsborough County Registry of Deed number and date recorded above the signature block. That has been addressed, section 510000. Area lot denoting wetland and dryland areas, section 530D, that has been addressed. Showing location of existing water line or lines, section 530K, that has been addressed. We've already approved the waiver for erosion and sediment control, section 530M waiver request. Location of the 4,000 square foot septic window and related data, section 530O, that has been addressed. I would also add as a condition of approval this evening, a copy of the test pit data that has been provided, is to be provided by the applicant. We have a copy of the deed to the property, so that would be a condition. And also a condition that the state DES subdivision approval is completed prior to the subdivision being performed.
And the approved waiver should be printed on the plan as well.
Yes, and the approved waiver, and also what you had mentioned earlier about the street number for the commercial.
He said that was on there.
518B. Okay, so we'll make sure that is included as well. Is there anything else that anybody wants to add, or the board have any suggestions?
Just a question.
Yes,
What is the address of the residence?
514.
514.
I talked to the fire department. They felt confident leaving 516 out. This 518 is already what the auto repair is using. They go by amount of frontage, street numbers.
With those conditions, and obviously the regular conditions of approval, original Mylars and professional seals and signatures, all fees paid, escrows maintained as required, and obviously state permit, subdivision, subsurface septic. I would entertain a motion to conditionally approve this subdivision.
So moved.
And I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have discussion? All those in favor of conditionally approving the application to subdivide one lot into two, tax map 22, lot 9, 514 Charles Bancroft Highway, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Abstained? Okay. Motion passes 500. Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. You're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good evening. Moving on. Committee reports. Any reports of any committees? I'll start with you, Kim.
Okay. Let's see, we'll do the easy one first. Board of Selectmen. No mask mandate in the town facilities as of May 2nd, 2021, in town buildings such as the town hall transfer station. However, masks are obviously allowed to be worn if one chooses to do so. Another item the Board of Selectmen did during the Board of Selectmen meeting on April 12th, 2021, the Board of Selectmen voted to recognize August 7th annually as Purple Heart Day. This is to honor and remember military personnel wounded or killed in combat with hostile forces. It pays tribute to those who have selflessly served our country, and it demonstrates the community support for veteran-related legislative initiatives. The Board of Selectmen proclamation was that on August 7th annually, on Purple Heart Day, we urge the people and organizations of Litchfield to display the American flag as well as other public expressions of recognition to our Purple Heart recipients. Just for your information, the Purple Heart was created August 7th, 1782 by George Washington, and it is the first and the oldest military merit. And I would like to thank Robert Leary, the Board of Selectmen member, and Troy Brown, our town administrator, and other veterans in town who helped make this possible. The second committee is, the next Board of Selectmen meeting will be on May 10th, Monday, at 6:30 p.m. in the town hall. And you can see the town's website for meeting details. National Regional Planning Commission, the next meeting will be Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. And you can see their website for meeting details also at 7 p.m. And that's it.
Thank you. Conservation Commission will meet this Thursday at 7 p.m. here in Town Hall. Lower Merrimack Local River Advisory Committee, I have not heard anything as of late. We haven't had a meeting in a while. I suspect I will be hearing something from them at some point. No projects to report. The Merrimack. The Capital Improvement Committee till July. That's it for me. Approval of the minutes of 4/20/2021. Do you take a look at those? Have any questions or concerns?
Yep, I did.
Okay.
Does Kate want to report anything from budget?
Oh, I'm sorry.
She's on the budget committee now, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it's still just the beginning of the year meeting, so all we've done is come up with the schedule for the year, and we filled the vacancy on the budget committee. Scott Taylor was appointed to the committee, and that's all I've got. The Hudson Logistics Center is on the agenda for tomorrow night in Hudson. We'll see where that goes.
And just an add-on, I did put the agenda package for tomorrow night up on the site. It's under, I think it says correspondence. So if anybody's interested in looking at the rather lengthy agenda package for the Hudson Planning Board, it's there.
Thanks, Jay.
Did have an issue with the meetings,
Yes.
more for what I had said. Let me find it. Where it is, I guess it's on page 2.
Are you talking about minutes?
Yeah. It's the only time I mention, it's like the second paragraph down. Kim Q comments she appreciates they're looking into the historic aspect of the property. Can I also add historic? Then I'll give you this note, comma, agricultural, conservation, and community garden. I'd say they had a big list, and I was grateful for that. Give me this list here. So it wasn't, I was just saying the historic aspect. It was the conservation, the garden, and the
Okay,
agricultural aspect.
I got it.
Questions about the minutes? Do we want to approve them as amended?
So moved.
Motion. I have a second. Do I have any discussion? All right, all those in favor of approval of the minutes of April 20th, 2021, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Abstained? Motion passes 5-0-0. Any other business? Jay mentioned the Huston's Logistics Center meeting is tomorrow night. There's a lot of conditions of approval for that meeting. If you had an opportunity to take a look at the what he had provided us this evening. So that's going to be a busy night, I think, for Hudson. Is there anything else, Joan, that you have for this evening?
There's nothing I have.
Okay.
I had a
Jay-
question about last meeting. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Mr. Charbonneau had raised the question about Mel's site plan now changing because they're not using the parking lot across the street. When would we expect a new site plan in? Do we need to request that, or do we just give them a certain amount of time?
Good question.
That's a good point. I'd certainly be happy to reach out to them, if that's helpful.
We might have to do that, yeah, and see what's going on. I know he said he closed it off, but, and I know there was something about enforcement, but I mean, I haven't heard anything from the zoning administrator or anything, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, I think the concern was lack of ADA compliance on the sidewalk might result in liability. I think that, if I recall correctly, that was his concern.
Something about easements not being granted by the owner
Sidewalk, yeah.
of the sidewalk.
For the sidewalk, yeah. So
I'll
maybe
reach out.
reach out to them and find out what's going on.
So would they just amend the site plan? It sounds like he made it clear that they wouldn't be allowed to park any vehicles if he's
Right.
bought the property. So they would just amend the site plan accordingly and.
I think that would probably be the best option available. Yeah. Have it approved.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
makes sense, yeah.
Their certificate of occupancy was based on that sidewalk.
They don't own the lot anymore.
Yeah, no,
They
they
don't
don't.
own the lot.
Right.
They never did own the lot.
But I don't know if that's in notes on the drawing or anything anywhere, We'll have to look at that.
So that was owned by somebody else who was who was,
Leasing. it.
leasing
Yeah.
at least during the October,
Park for the-
for the hot,
October,
or
yeah.
whatever it was called, that
Spooky World.
overflow parking when,
Well, that was the primary parking, I think. Wasn't that the primary parking?
no, I don't think
Sandpit?
they parked there except for when they were running the
Overflow.
Right, when they're running spooky.
Right.
Spooky World, yeah. I mean, the rest of the time they didn't.
No, right, the rest of the time they don't.
Yeah.
Do they have this atop, I mean, it looks great, Mel's right now, when you go by.
Yeah, should have.
But the certificate of occupancy, they have it, right? It was granted?
For what?
Was it
Yes.
granted? Okay.
Yes, because the bumper boats are up and running, so they must
I
have.
just, I just don't want them to be negated all of a sudden because
No,
of
they're
the
definitely
condition
running.
of
I
the
was,
sidewalk.
I went to the Mexican restaurant. The pat, to make use of the patio, which was delightful.
Mhm.
And the bumper boats were running. and
Yeah,
they were
they're
squirting
beautiful.
Water all over the place, so.
So they're not going to pull a certificate of occupancy because it was conditional on the sidewalk, which now is, that's what, it's just fuzzy at this point, you know, I don't want them to have
Yeah.
a business
Well, the
issue.
side, I think the sidewalk was what for employees to get from, they were parking on Colby Road, I think.
And
So if there's a
visitors.
new site plan that's just consolidates all parking must be on their
Yeah.
lot, then they won't need the sidewalk anyway.
Right.
But I just,
Right.
the wording of their occupancy permit, I don't want that to have a problem,
No.
is all.
That's
Yep.
true.
Yeah, we can double check. I don't think they will, but we can double check on that.
Okay.
But obviously they will need to amend the site plan or there would be a compliance issue.
Yep.
I suspect that they will be coming back at some point, so. Any other business this evening? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Motion to have a second. Discussion? All right. All those in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I
Those opposed, abstained, motion passes 5-0-0. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us this evening, and thank you guys for being on tonight. And we will see you again weeks. Okay.